So it's finished. Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Forest 1. Again, another disappointing performance. Just a few quick points to go over today. Similar to what basically I said for the game on Tuesday, really. About how the game went. So first thing, again, too slow on possession of the ball. I said this on Tuesday. This has become a bit of a theme now. It's too slow in the back line, too slow in the transitions, and it's really killing us. I think Sarabia shone after about 30 minutes. First 25 minutes, no one was really doing much, really, in terms of the whole performance. Sarabia then started to get into the game, started into the right areas, started to pick some key passes, and obviously assisted the goal really well. The tactics are killing us, I think, at the moment. And I think if we're saying, it's too easy for people to say we're missing Neto, we're missing Saint Nuri. I agree that is a reason why we're missing attacking play, but the setup's wrong. We weren't, even when they were playing, we weren't, like, the balls Bueno and Semedo were getting right on that bot on the touchline. They weren't getting, the players before that you didn't used to get those sort of passes. You weren't getting the ball right on the touchline with nowhere to go. Every pass you had to do was coming back all the time. They didn't have those passes. That didn't used to happen with Wolves. It's too slow from the back line. It's too many passes. The ball used to come further forward. Now, I think what the issue is we're trying to play almost like we're too far up the pitch. When we used to play a back five before, obviously, talking years ago now, when Cody was further back, we'd have space to play the 60-yard pass into, the 40-yard pass into out wide. We haven't got that space anymore because everyone's about 10, 20 yards further up the pitch now than we used to be. We're not as deep. And when we do have the ball, when we play those balls out wide, they used to be going into their half. Now they're going on the halfway line, and there's literally no space to go for the fullbacks to go into. And we made 648 passes in that game. I guarantee 300 of those passes were from Hugo Bueno back to Totti, from Totti back to Hugo Bueno again. The amount of balls that are played in that little area was phenomenal. And what's happening is it's making Hugo Bueno and it's making Semedo look bad. Because they've got nowhere to go. Everyone's like, oh, come on, forwards, play it forwards. They haven't got the pass to play it forwards to. And people, for some reason, can't seem to see that. I get other people shouting next to me, get Tommy Doyle on top, get Tommy Doyle on. And I understand that they want to try and increase the tempo in the middle of the park. But then I'm with them. I said that on Tuesday, Tommy Doyle should have come on. But then we can't expect a 20-year-old who's played one season in the Championship to try and get hold of a game like they would have had, like a Neves performance would have had in the past. I think the main thing now we need to focus on is Lamina. He needs to stop getting too far forward. The objective of today was obviously Sarabia was drop deeper to play the balls further forward because obviously he's not going to compete physically. Play the balls further forward to where like Hwang, Kuna and Lamina could compete for the balls. Any area balls played forward, and Sarabia would sit back and play them early on in some phases of the game. What they need to focus on now, I think, is Lamina getting the ball off the back five, turning and trying to play the ball forward. That's what he used to do. And we've stopped that central partnership. The bit between Gomez and Lamina now is so static and no one's coming to show for the ball. That's where half our problems lie. If Lamina or Gomez gets to the ball and turns on the half turn, they can play the balls out wide to the fullbacks further up the pitch. And that's where you've got your situations. And that's what we used to have before. And that's how you cause teams the problems. That is the key. There's not much of a change in the Wolves' performances, but the past couple of games, that's been the difference. And for me, that's why I think we're struggling with these so-called negative performances. I think Kuna and Hwang need to get closer together. If we do eventually play a long ball forward, if you go into Hwang or Kuna, there's no one anywhere within 30 yards of them anyway to try and get the ball off them to win a flick on. They're too far apart. So that's a big issue. So I think there's some things just to work on. We've got 8 days now until our next game against West Ham away. It's going to be a tough game. Again, I'll take a point before we kick off. But it's something we need to look at. It's something that's got to change fundamentally. Do we go to a back four? There was parts at the half-time side, depending on to back four. Took Bueno off. Totti Gomez at left back. Put Bellegarde on. And see what we'd have gone there. See what we could have done. Because realistically, we weren't offering much in the wide areas in terms of the fullbacks. Would that have been that much of a difference? There's no point saying, well, I thought, we need to have sort of lights going here. There's no point in this day where I thought we need to have 5 at the back, really. So that's something to look at. He won't do that against West Ham or Chelsea at home, though. So we're still stuck with the back 5 next few games. But it's something to have a look at. And hopefully some of the players come back in, like Aït-Nouri and Neto. But we'll see what happens. And I'll catch you, hopefully, on the next one after a game on Sunday. And hopefully we get a win on Sky for the boys that aren't watching it at the Olympic Stadium. I'll catch you on the next one.
Finished Wolves 1, Forest 1. A really underwhelming, uninspiring, lacklustre performance today from us. I don't really know what to say, really. It was such a boring game. I can't really pick out points of anything to say, really. Apart from the 2 goals, nothing much happened. Their goals poor to concede. I thought Totti and Bueno were really, really poor today. I think that's the worst I've seen Totti play. Bueno, he's night and day from Ait Nouri for me, really. And then questions asked for Sarr as well for their goal. And then we come back into the game, scored our goal, which is probably the best 30 seconds of football that we played today. It's a lovely pass from Lamina into Sarabia, and then Sarabia into Cunha, who puts it in the back of the net. Another goal for him, which is good. But the rest of it was really, really poor. From the defence to the forwards, it was static. The passes were poor. There was no real urgency to go forward. We didn't look like we wanted to score or win the game. And Forest came and did a job on us today. They stuck 11 men behind the ball and defended for their lives because they knew that a loss would get the manager sacked. So that's all they cared about today, and we gave it to them. And they were there for the taking, especially after we scored the first goal. We should have kicked on from that point. I'm struggling to find a reason as to why we're not attacking teams as much as we seemed to have been doing of late. Since the Tottenham game, I think we've been a really poor side. And I know we've picked up results since then and scored goals. But we're really, really poor to watch. So some of them need to kick up the arse. You can see once we took Lamina off today, how much we die in midfield a little bit. We need that ball playing or ball carrying, centre midfielder who can grab the ball and take it forward for us. And we missed that today. We didn't know how to break the lines. We didn't know how to stay on side for things. We didn't know when to shoot and when to pass. So yeah, it's really poor and underwhelming performance from both the last 2 games, really. So we need to see a pick up in results. Sorry, not results, performances in the next game, because this run that we've got coming up to Christmas and the New Year is tough. So yeah, move on to West Ham. Not much said about today. Cheers for me on, boys.
So, Wolves 1, Nottingham Forest 1 at Molineux. Bad game. Poor performance. Okay result is how I'd sum that up from Wolves. Didn't set the world alight. Didn't give the fans much to shout about at all in terms of an attacking threat, especially in the second half where I thought we were really, really poor. Some questionable decisions by the manager in terms of substitutions, I thought. I really felt like a striker should have come onto the pitch about 70 minutes, 75 minutes, not 93 minutes. Whether that be Fabio or whether that had been Sasa Kalajic, which he did make, like I said, after 92 minutes. It's just too late. 4 added on. If he had any impetus to try and go and win the game, like any ambition to try and win the game, but it didn't seem there from Gary O'Neill today. And you could argue that if we took the point and moved, it was an okay result because Forest won't get any closer to us. But like, you're looking at where are we going and where are we trying to go, and well, that is a concern because I couldn't see any real identity for Wolves today in terms of play, in terms of passages. Like, there were a few good moments, like the goal we scored was absolutely brilliant, I thought, but just in general, slow, lacked urgency. Nottingham Forest looked more likely in the second half, I thought, to get the winner, which is why we can maybe come away from it just satisfied with the points, I suppose. It's not a great day, it's not a great result, but like we said, we'd have probably taken 4 points from these 2 games before kick-off against Burnley on Tuesday, where the win papered over the cracks of what was a poor performance. We are desperately missing Ryan Ait-Nouri. We are desperately missing Pedro Neto. You can't really hide from that. It's a big factor. It's a big factor. Neto's huge for this team. Huge to it, absolutely. And he needs to come back soon. And we need Ait-Nouri back in as well, because Bueno hasn't really impressed me. Nico Williams had him locked up today, I thought. in the middle of the pitch. It was a game that was just drifting after we equalised, where you thought, go on, go for them now. They're a team vulnerable, just off a defeat, and it didn't really turn out that way. Gary O'Neill, I thought Tommy Doyle could have done a job by coming on the seat today. I really thought that maybe for João Gomez last 10-15 minutes try and add something, because Boubacar Traoré was not the one of them two you bring on if you're trying to go for a winner, that is for sure. But the Forest goal is so poor from Wolves defensively. As Toti Gomez messing about on the far side, then of course you have the crossing and Semedo getting caught at the back post yet again, which is a poor one from a guy who I thought played very well on Tuesday night, but that was a bad moment for him. And it happened again in the second half. Toffolo missing from 3 yards with a header, having just scored one in the first half. So, like, you know, you look at it and you think Wolves are lucky not to lose that game, but I don't think they deserve to lose, but by no means do I think they deserve to win either. You got to be fair. Forest came with a plan, which was to sit back and nullify Wolves, and that's exactly what they did. And we had no answer to it. Sarabia plays well, I thought, in the first half, but like he lacked pace. Cunha isn't blessed with pace. Hwang isn't rapid. So, you know, that sort of thing, it just makes you think, meh. How are we going to get a result at West Ham without Neto? I think we need to start involving one of the two strikers more. That's just my personal opinion. And I would have liked to have seen Tommy Doyle off the bench today, and I wasn't too impressed with Bellegarde's cameo performance either. But 19 points for Wolves. It's a decent return so far. Well away from the relegation zone. Not something I think we should be too worried about at this moment in time. But if you're going by performances, the last four even, you could maybe say Fulham have not been up to scratch. But Wolves have come out with an okay return of 4 points from those 4 games since the international break. Anyway, today finished up Molineux. Wolves won, Nottingham Forest won. Decent day for Gary O'Neill's side, at best.
What's going on, guys? It's ended Wolves 1, Forest 1 in a game of attack and defence, basically. We conceded super early, which isn't great. Again, we conceded early, which is not good to see. But I do like how we fought back and pretty much just held them to nothing really. Which is positive. Because I do feel like Wolves of old would have conceded another one and left us with a mountain to climb, and I just don't feel like Gary O'Neill has us playing like that. We play with confidence and we play, not with our heads down after conceding. We just carry on with the game plan and keep going, which is great. Thought both teams played really, really, really well in that first half. Actually, both teams really wanted something from the game, and Forest were the first team to score a goal from that sort of momentum. And it was poor to concede where we did. I feel Breno needs to do better, cutting the ball at source, but flipping it, man. Semedo gets beaten in the air, that was got to be like the biggest leap I've ever seen from a player. It was insane. Yeah, the guy had like a jetpack on. It was absolutely insane. Semedo was never getting to that ball. Toffolo wanted it way more, and it's just looped over Sarr and Dawson, bless him, tries to clear it off the line, which would have been great, but unfortunately it comes back off the bar and straight in the net, and it's 1-0 to them, and we're gutted, but you know what, Wolves never stopped, which was nice to see. We worked really hard, we got a goal for a clever bit of play, actually, probably the best play of the match for me, which was Lamina threads a ball lovely into the path of Sarabia. Sarabia really clever to hold the ball up, cuts it back to Cunha. Cunha finishes it really, really nicely, slots it home, and it's 1-1, and it's game on then, to be fair. The crowd are really up for it, everyone's really up for it, and it did feel like one of those games where it really was attack versus defence. But unfortunately, we just couldn't break the door down of that really good Forest defending today. And fair play to Forest, really, really good defending and deserved the point, in my opinion, really, because we just didn't really create enough to get a second goal. But yeah, I feel like we stayed in control. Nice to see us playing a high line and creating some problems for teams and whatever, but we just couldn't unlock the door. So it ended 1-1, and that's pretty much the story of the game, really. I feel like we just need to be braver when it comes to our attacking play, trying to get past players instead of this like negative back and forth. Again, like I said in the last video, I get why we do it, but sometimes it just comes across really negative and frustrating to watch as a fan. And hopefully, you know, we get some goals from what we're trying to do, and you know, it'll shut up a lot of us, won't it, if you know this very patient possession football gets a load of goals in the near future. Then you know we'll all shut up, won't we, and we'll let them pass around the back and do whatever. But just because we're not gaining a lot from it at the moment, it's just very frustrating, isn't it? But I do like how we play. I do. I get what we're trying to do. I get, you know, Gomez and Lamina are just absolute warriors in that midfield, and they win practically every tackle and create a heap of problems for you know, any midfield. And that leaves the likes of Kilman and Toty to get forward, and I love to see it. I just hope that we get a good return from that sort of play, because if we do, you know, it's good. It's good to see that sort of play, because it's very positive. To be fair, you know, we keep the ball a lot. Possession football, you know, if you do a lot with it, it looks good, and you know, you get some results. But sometimes just feel like we need brave players, and I feel like Neto will definitely give us that when he's back from injury, and hopefully that's soon. But yeah, again, very much an attack versus defence sort of match, really. Fair play to Forest, and I feel positive with 4 points from 2 really must win or draw games. You know, we just wanted something from those 2 games, and we did, and that's brilliant. You know, goal scoring form stays the same. And so does our home form, you know, still unbeaten. So you can't really moan too much. Just hope that we start to see some returns from the way we're playing, and I'll be happy. So thanks very much, guys. See you later.